I've seen over the last 10 years a shift from the medical community, and it's just in the beginning infancy stages, where they have people that they try to bring up to average, where over the last 10 years, we've seen a shift, at least I have, where people are trying to be way more above average. And there's an emphasis on that, where there was never a discussion about that 10 years ago. What do you guys think? Have you seen the same thing?
Yeah. So one of the issues that we're currently facing, and I think it's actually more of a societal issue. One, like people want to get to their results faster, or they want to feel better. Like it has to do with social media kind of thing, but also the societal issue of males and females are supposed to be equivalents now. So men don't try to be as alpha. And I think it actually is literally affecting our hormones. I'm seeing in kids with 300 test scores, like no joke, like 18 years old. And I'm like, oh my gosh. And so I would put them on Clomid, right? I'm not going to put them on testosterone replacement therapy. They're 18 years old. And usually I can get them to like 500, 600 score if I'm lucky. And then hopefully the diet and stuff like that takes over and it kind of brings them up a little bit, maybe some boron or something, take advantage of it. But yeah, so there is a societal issue with guys that are actually having just lower and lower testosterone. I think it's more of a societal issue that I'm kind of piecing together. It's a theory. But yes, they are trying to push the limitations. I notice in most males, though, when I have blood work back and they are below a 500 score, their libido can be crushed. But every person is different. I know people that are like sex machines. Like they're like, I have to have sex like 2 to 3 times a day. And they come back and they have like a 200 test score. I'm like, how are you functioning right now? But then you have other guys that are like a 400, 500 test score. And then they're like, dude, I cannot get erect right now. And I'm like, so every person I think is different because it affects the mind differently, but it's also your mindset, I think. I don't know.
Oh, no, 1,000%. Didn't you just do a post on this?
Me? I believe I did. I do. I make videos in advance, so sometimes I forget, but now it's coming back to me. But yeah, I did. I mean, there's no competition. Everyone gets a fucking participation trophy. So you got 10 kids. They all know they're getting a ribbon or a trophy, whatever it is may be. So there's not one of those kids is like, yo, I'm going to beat fucking Billy. I'm kicking your ass. I want to be number one. And I think, that drive, that competition, that's how humans are. We've never laid around and been pussies. We always were trying to conquer something, do something. In my video, I can't remember where I heard this, but someone was asking, like, how did these guys in prison get so jacked on ramen noodles and bologna sandwiches? And granted, they've got a lot of time to work out, obviously, but they don't get protein supplements. I mean, I'm sure they could probably get gear in there, maybe, but and one of the theories was that they're in such a competitive, do or die situation. You always have to look over your back. And they theorize that will actually raise their testosterone levels out of necessity. Their body's not worried about fucking social media and dyeing your hair and this and that and all this negative, all this stuff. Their body's like, yo, I need to be as strong and ready and prepared as possible because I'm fighting for my life. I thought that was an interesting theory.
I'd see that as like the mental, what do you want to call that? Like spiritual, like this is the most powerful tool that anybody is ever going to use. And I call them stories, right? Like, because you tell yourself a story that's different than mine, which doesn't mean it's wrong or right. It's just a story you choose to tell yourself. But what people forget is that you can change the story you tell yourself about yourself or about life or what you're accomplishing. And there is data out there that shows how when you change those things, you can affect your hormone levels. Right? So that would make sense that that's the case. Like as you go through and change things, just like there was a study done at Harvard where they did but they stood up straight. It took 20 minutes of deep breathing, and then they checked their testosterone levels, and their testosterone levels were actually elevated just from things like that.
I mean, you can change your blood pressure just by breathing and meditating. So I mean, there's no reason why being healthy or doing certain things or having positive mental focus or energy can do better things for your body.
So you want to talk about meditation?